Welcome to KWO.
Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Oh, won't you tell me down and build me up again?
Hello, and welcome to another KWO Retroview. We haven't done one of these since December, I think. Maybe November, I don't remember. With me, as always, is the twat, Dill. Hi, Dill.
I'm here and I'm causing a heatwave. So, throwback to the 2008 summer show. Yeah.
I am your usual host, the mouth of the Midlands, the king of charisma, Matt Kimbo. And we've got guests again, because I feel well enough to host. And our guest is continued friend of the pod, regular contributor to Retroviews. Here for attempt number 3. It's Nat. Hi, Nat.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back. Apparently, because we've gone with the one that we've got, you needed actual tits on to offset the tits on screen.
It needed to complete the trifecta, really. If we got Chris on, then I think it'd only be 3.5 tits.
Like 2.5 men.
Yeah, 2.5 tits.
Close.
If by our very vague hints, or the title of the podcast, you've not gathered this yet, we are watching ECW's Heatwave 1998, set in the deep, deep depths of the Attitude Era. Paul E. Heyman put a wrestling show on, and it is the highest rated ECW wrestling show as per cagematch.net.
Fuck it is.
So we're going to review it, and we're going to let you know where we should watch it on the network. There is 6 matches on the card, so we all get to talk about.
Before we get into that, how much is the network?
Depending on your location, it is either £9.99 a month, unless you're a lucky American who just gets Peacock, and then it's like a £5, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're jammy bastards. Yeah, they're going to moan about Peacock. I'd rather Peacock.
Yeah, you get The Office.
You get a lot of good shit on the Peacock. Plus,
You get wrestling and The Office. Done.
Yeah.
Did you hear the rumours that Disney Plus were going to get 30?
I mean, give it me. If I can watch Hawkeye and then immediately switch over to watch WrestleMania X7, yeah, please.
I was hoping for a more niche reference than WrestleMania X7.
Right, I couldn't think of a niche reference off the top of my head, though I did rewatch the Kofi Mania Elimination Chamber the other day and was reminded how fucking good that was.
I was hoping to say like Progress 072 or something. Just something niche.
I have not gone back and watched the Progress show, ever.
Damn. That's
I might do one day.
I've never done it, but I'd expect you to do that because you're a niche nerd.
They're doing
a niche nerd.
Yeah, they're setting up Cara Noir against Jonathan Gresham now, mate. I'm in. All monies. Take it. I'm there. If it was closer to us, we'd be going.
I completely misheard you then, and I thought you said Jonathan Creek, and I was like, what? I mean, I'd pay good money to fucking see that match, but nobody's going to make that match.
No, Jonathan Gresham. Very different person.
Yeah, Matt's future husband.
He's not my future husband. He's married to Jordan Grace, and she looks like she'd written for them from him.
Oh, I'd pay to watch that. That'd be a lovely watch, that would.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Much love.
So, because there's 6 matches, that gets the main event, as she's the guest, as per KWO rules. She's real excited. I'm going to say Dill.
I've got notes.
Oh, in fact, no, Dill. I'm not going to give you the first match, because that also means you get the tag match, and you don't deserve that. So I'll take the first match. It's just incredible with his entourage of Chastity, Jason, and Nicole Bass against Jerry Lynn. Just giving you some background before we dive into our opinions. Cage Match gave us a 6.77, which is like just shy of a 3.5. And Dave Meltzer gave it 3.25 stars. I thought it was alright. It was good, this. Just Incredible is a hard worker. Jerry Lynn is one of the best of all time. They did the wrestles, and it was good. And there was very little to complain about. People will complain about outside shenanigans, which is fair. But it worked in the narrative of making Jerry Lynn look strong in defeat. It all made sense. It just made me feel sad because Just Incredible goes from being remotely watchable to the most boring man on earth in WWE within 5 years. So, hey, yeah. It was really good. It was just a really good way to open a show. I have very little else to add. Dale, we'll go to you next.
I mean, I have literally nothing to add other than the fact that Just Incredible spilled a fucking beer. How dare he? That's the biggest talking point in the match for me. He picked up a beer to try and hit Jerry Lynn with it, which in itself is fucking blasphemy. But before he could even pick it up, he dropped most of it. Like, he knocked it over, and honestly, that infuriated me deeply. I'm still trying to get over that. But overall, the match in itself was fine. It was nice to see Jerry Lynn become the precursor to John Cena. Just overcoming the odds. Just fine match, no real complaints. It's fine. I think that's all I have to add.
But he didn't overcome the odds, he lost.
Oh shit, yeah. It's been so long since I watched it.
You watched it today?
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember. I can remember further away than I can today. Honestly, I forgot to get my notes up as well, so that's not helped. Professional.
You are.
This is why he's the twat.
And the worst part is, I've not even gone with my plan of calling Just Incredible Aldo Montoya. I've just fucked everything up. Everything that could have gone right has gone completely wrong.
You have shot the bed here.
I've done a reverse of Heatwave 98. I've started off shit.
Matt, what was your opinion on this?
It's a perfectly acceptable match. It didn't set my soul on fire. I can't say that it was bad opening match. The shenanigans got a little bit frustrating. Part one of Tatty Strong got her stopwatch out. There was a 40-second period of Chastity distracting the ref, who happened to look like he was a world starts champion. And I think 40 seconds is a bit long. Like, it was unnecessary. It wasn't really doing anything. So that's a long time in the ring to see monkey businessing about. But outside of that, like, perfectly adequate. Like, little bit mediocre, if I was going to be brutally honest. But it's perfectly average, like, really shit on it from a great high.
With nothing else to add, we'll just move on to ratings. I gave it a 4. I thought it was good. I will say this is the second longest match on the card. And it does... I'm not going to say it does feel it, because there's a match that's shorter that definitely feels longer. But, yeah, second longest match on the card. And so the parts that Matt mentions that do feel like they drag probably could and should have been cut. But yeah, I give it a 4. John?
I give it a 3.75. It was good, it was fine. You can't really complain about too much of it. It's good wrestling between good wrestlers. There's a lot of interference, which is a bit meh. And Jerry Lynn does briefly become John Cena, which is what I fucked up mentioning, because I forgot to open my notes. He briefly became John Cena and fought everyone off for losing. But, yeah. Other than that, it's meh. Alright, I give it 3.75.
And
I'm going to sound really, really mean. Shock. Gas. I gave it a 275. So it was perfectly average. It would have scored higher if they'd cut out a lot of the dead wood. Stuff that absolutely didn't need to be in it, and made it longer, which then made it feel a bit dull in places. Overall, it wasn't.
Very fair. We will move on to the shortest match of the night, which immediately followed, which is Chris Cantino with Tammy Lynn Sitch.
Oh,
Sitch.
honestly, you with names, you should stop.
Thanks. Who was Sonny in WWE. And he was against Lance Storm. Before Dill dives into this, I will tell you Cage Match gave this a 6.96, which is a 3.5 out of 5 on our rating scale. And Dave gave it 3.25 stars, same as the opener. Dill.
Wow. Those motherfuckers. I thought this match was fucking phenomenal. Lance Storm is possibly one of the best performers I've ever seen based on that match alone. I've never seen much Lance Storm because I'm a young boy. He didn't do much graps in my time that I could visibly watch. You know, he wasn't a regular feature on WWE Experience in the early 2000s. I didn't have access to Ring of Honor in like 2006. So this is one of my first proper exposures to Lance Storm, and this is incredible. Everything about this match is incredible. Lance Storm is such a 2022 wrestler. Like, he'd be so perfect nowadays. Like, some of the matches he could have had. It's a shame he wasn't born in around this era, because he could do so much good. But you can see where he's, you know, left a lot of influence through his work as a wrestler and now what he's doing as a producer. Everything he does is just so good. One spot in particular where he hits his suplex or a brain buster from the apron directly to the concrete below, which is then immediately followed up by sending Candido into the crowd. Then do some mega springboard crossbody into the crowd over the guardrail, which is it was so well done. It's just so good. It's such good wrestling. It's so good. This is the kind of graps I love. Just great quality wrestling. Loved every bit of it.
Nat.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Storm. I've not seen anything from either of these two wrestlers before previously. I was really impressed with Lance Storm. Candido, for me, looked really sluggish, really early doors. I started to look really gassed really quickly. And his sluggishness started draining kind of the pacing of the match for me a little bit, made it feel like it was running a bit long. There was there was multiple 2 counts, like a lost count of how many like near pins that there were, and it started to just become repetitive and a bit boring rather than actually adding a level of excitement to the match. Like, it just became a bit meh. And I hated the fucking end bit with Tammy in the fucking dress and the powder, and it was such a shame because the end was just such pure nonsense. And there was such excellent technical wrestling early on. Like, Storm's fucking really good at what he does. And there were elements of that match that were really engaging. But there's just these real weak spots for me, and I just thought the ending was just stupid. It could just get in the sea. I wasn't about it. I was disappointed.
So, I'm going to upset everyone. I really like the ending. It was... I understand where that's coming from, and the fact we had 2 interference endings back-to-back isn't smart booking. Paul Heyman's better than that. However, the spin on Lance being clever, noticing the chalk, being able to avert the chalk, and then it leading to what looked like it was obviously for like fan reaction. Oh, great tits, pop! But yeah, I didn't hate the ending. I actually thought it was quite smart for a stupid interference ending. I've seen Landstorm more than these two combined, which isn't a large number because I believe it was one match between them before today. And yeah, this is the best Landstorm I've ever seen. Why did we not have more of this? Why did Vince McMahon not think this Landstorm was good? Why did we get boring librarian Mr. Canada Landstorm? That was shit. It was a shit gimmick, and he did a shit job with it. And it's not Lance's fault. The man isn't charisma. He is technical wrestling personified. Dill.
I mean, he was shit because you can't get over doing side headlock takeovers.
Touche. I understand Matt's point about Cantino. I know him and Tammy have other world problems away from the wrestling ring around this time. So, probably plays into it a bit, but then, don't put him on the card, I guess. I think he's a safe, solid pair of hands, and I think that's why they aren't scared to use him. And he was fine. I didn't think he was bad. He just wasn't at Storm's level. Like, if we could have taken Jerry Lynn from the previous match and put him against Lance Storm from this match, that's the main event. I felt the match went the right amount of time, and I do want to say, despite her issues, Sunny, especially for the era where they were literally just meant to be eye candy, was a pretty damn good valet. Like, if she was clean and healthy, she probably would have had such a good run. But instead, she wasn't, so she didn't. And I'm sad. But we'll move on to ratings. As I'm talking, I'll just put mine out there first. I gave it a 4.25. This was really good. Dale, you spoke about the match first.
I gave it 4.25 as well. Thought Lance was great. Thought Candido was fine. I didn't mind the finish as much. I feel like I've just brushed over the negatives because I just love Lance Storm. I loved him anyway, I just didn't love him as much as the wrestler because limited exposure and all that.
And
again, I was a little bit mean, I suppose. I gave it a 3.25. I thought it was a solid match in the most part. There was just too many niggly little stupid things that bothered me.
I'm really excited for Nat's opinions when we get to the actually really bad matches.
Oh, I'm going to tell him a new one.
Match number 3, Dill. No, Nat gets to talk about this one first. And Dill's probably excitedly waiting in the wings. It is Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome. Take it away, Nat.
I don't really have a lot to say on this. In fact, I don't even have any notes. It was perfectly fine. Like, it was an enjoyable match. Not an awful lot that I can do to pick it apart. Like, it was decent. But after 2 silly finishes, it was nice to just see like a cut and dry, sensible 1998 sensible wrestling match. Like, it was fine. I've got no real strong opinions either way about it.
I did forget to do the cage match bit beforehand. I'll do it before Dill gets to talk. Cage match gave this an 8.46. This was their match of the night. And it was also Dave Meltzer's who gave it 4 stars. Dill.
Beefy boys, making noise. Oh, that's my match. It's just beef and more beef and flippy beef and neck beef. It's so good. It's all the beef, but it's just there, and it's smacking each other in the head with chairs and tables and diving over the top rope into the fans. Oh, it's so good. It's like I could go in depth about this match for hours, but you can see where so many elements of this match are left into today's wrestling. It's like there's so many elements in this match where I've seen that's from Adam Cole versus Gargano, that's from Kenny Omega versus John Moxley at Full Gear 2019. Like there's so many moments like that where this match is just played, and the people within have just played a massive part into this modern day of wrestling and the psychology. The kind of no selling that's actually good. Like when Kenny or Koa does it, that's straight up Tanaka. You see it all over the shop in this match. Mike Awesome's just, he's like a created wrestler on a video game. You just max out his stats, you made him maximum height, you made him flippy, you made him so he can do perfectly executed springboards. The man's just a freak. This is the first time I've ever seen a proper Mike Awesome match, and I get why this match is so just completely hyped, because it's everything that kind of ECW personifies, because this is before Mike Awesome was any big real star, I think. The same with Tanaka. They'd both done like big bits in Japan, but for the most part they were relatively unknown in the Western world at the time, I think. So for them to come and do this match so well, because this is my first proper actual exposure to both of these men, it's so good. It absolutely backs up every piece of hype it's received and then some. It's so good. It's like Awesome just looks so comfortable on the top rope. For a man who's 6'7", 6'8". He's just such a smooth performer, but he looks brutal, and it's just really good. Then Tanaka's just, he's just in 1998 almost Johnny Gargano, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi. He's almost like all of them, but beefy, and it's really good. It's really, really good. Big fan of everything about this match.
Yeah, what you said was right, Del. Heyman put them together to get them both over. It was his game plan. I titled my small review of this match, Hoss Goes Hardcore. Tanaka is a crazy bastard. And I'd been in an ice bath for like a month after this match. Everything just looked like it fucking hurt. Like, it just looked painful. Yeah, they just worked hard. Everything looked crisp, everything looked sharp, everything was... Like Del said, it was kind of a retro take on a modern match, and you can see the bits that wrestling fans who have gone into becoming professional wrestlers have plucked out to bring into their own big feuds. There's a reason this was the only ECW original, the ECW original match that WWE put on the first ever one night stand. Like, there was no, because neither of them were active around that time, and they were still decent then, despite the fact they were both like late 40s and looked battered as fuck. But yeah, this was great. I enjoyed this a lot. We'll move on to ratings, as I've spoke last again. I guess I'll rate first. I give it a 4. I thought it was really good. Nat, you went first?
I agree, 4. But it was completely no bullshit. It was just a really solid match. A man of that stature has absolutely no right looking that chill, just balancing casually on top of some DDT finish for the end was brilliant. Like, it was just straight up fucking solid. 4 all day long.
I'll quickly say before I hand off to Dale, very quickly, Awesome gives me like really big Dijakovic vibes. Like, I've been sat here for about a week trying to work out who Awesome reminded me of, and it hit me as Dale was like fucking jizzing his hands about it. Dominik Dijakovic, massive Dominik Dijakovic vibes. Dale.
I really wanted to give it a 5, but I saved my 5s for special occasions like Matt Cardona versus Joey Janela. And this is as close as it gets without actually being a 5. It's a 4.75. It's so good. Please watch this match, please. Like, for the neck beef, watch this match.
We move on to match number 4, and the match I'm going to call Marmite. You'll get why. Rob Van Dam and Sabu defend the ECW World Tag Team titles against Japanese legend in his only appearance in the US, Hayabusa, and Jinsei Shinzaki. Fuck you, Dale, I can't say Japanese names sometimes. Cage Match gave this a 7.74 out of 10, which is like a 3.75, pushing a 4. Big Daddy Dave gave it a 2. So, bit of a gap. I'm going to say I'm more on the Cage Match side of things here, and I'm going to level. I am a huge Rob Van Dam mark. Rob Van Dam is possibly my favourite wrestler of all time. He's definitely top 3. I fucking love Rob Van Dam. Sabu's great. This is my first exposure to Hayabusa, but Hayabusa has inspired so many of the wrestlers that I'm watching and all my current favourites. I'm like, God damn, I see it. And that was great. And when Shinzaki is the worst part of a match, and he's still pretty great, yeah, I loved it. Yes, it wasn't super clean. Yes, there's communication issues because there's a bit of a language barrier because 2 guys are Japanese and 2 guys very clearly are not. Yes, I had to watch the whole fucking match on mute because of Bill Alfonso and his stupid pissing whistle. However, they just kick shit through each other. The drama between Rob Van Dam and Sabu, are they going to implode, are they not? Even at the end where Sabu pushes Van Dam off to get the cover, like, subtle storytelling, but it's so well done. It's not even subtle, it's fucking smashing the hammer. These two are going to fucking fight forever, and it was great. But, because it's looking back and you know these two do fight forever. They're in this fucking eternal bromancy fight thing, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Ibushi and Omega and people like that. It's just good. It's just really good. Hayabusa shows out, especially when he kind of gets going around the mid-match. Like, very early on he plays it safe and then he starts hitting his moves and you're like, yes. Yeah, all the flowers first, big fan. Admittedly, I am going to say this is possibly me marking out over Van Dam and Hayabusa. Sorry. Dill.
Yeah, I don't really have many bad things to say about the match. It was great. Like, everything about it was good. It was fine. It's just them communication issues, and there's the moments where it's like it doesn't even look scrappy, which I do like when it does get scrappy. But it seems like there's those issues that do hold it back a bit. So, but that is very nitpicky. It's not a real major criticism of the people in the match, of the match itself. It's just an unfortunate thing to stop the match from being as good as it could have been, or maybe as highly as Matt will sent over it for. But it's still like a really good match. I'm a big Shinzaki fan, I'm a big Hayabusa fan, even though I've never seen any of them. But everything you hear about what they've done, and how they've paved the way, and everything Hayabusa did in FMW was just borderline legendary. It's like the man had a real short career, but still comes out with all the reckoning he does. It's mental. RVD is RVD. Can't really say anything more about a man than that. Sabu is just fucking mental. It's just that. It's a real fine match. I don't really have any actual worthwhile complaints about it.
Nah.
Be prepared to be shooketh. I fucking loved it. Absolutely fucking it. it was like, I was anxious to start with because it was really slow to get started with the whole RVD and Sabu love to hate each other. Took a while for anything to fucking start because they couldn't decide between them who the fuck was going to start the match. The second everything started, it just skyrocketed. It was just jet fuel propelled for the rest of it. Shinzaki's rope walk was fucking beautiful. I thought Sabu and Hayabusa together were just so well matched. They were just fucking mesmerising. You couldn't take your eyes off them. They were brilliant. The commentary team made an absolutely valid point that Hayabusa is so dangerous on the ropes that Sabu had to keep him on the mat. And it was a smart move. And I feel like that comment was kind of valid for a lot of the action that was happening in the match. It was smart wrestling. They knew that they were well matched with each other. It was never obvious who was actually going to win, which is always a big selling point for me. Like, I hate going into a match knowing how it's going to end. I like to be juiced into maybe believing that it could go another way, even if it doesn't feel legit. But you genuinely didn't know what was going to happen. There was a bit towards the end where, after they started kind of taking the action into the outside of the ring, I had no idea who was legal anymore. And that bothered me a little bit, because once you lose track of who's legal, you don't know whether to get excited about a near pinfall or who the fuck is gonna, like, you know what I mean? It just became a little bit fucking chaotic for a bit. But then it ended so well. I love the whole RVD Sabu hating each other with such passion, it's almost love. And Hayabusa and Shinzaki, fucking extraordinary. Like, the whole match was absolutely fucking blinding. I loved every second of it. Like, I was perfectly happy to put my little niggly qualms in a box, inside another box, and post them away. Fine. Like, it's these handful of slightly irritating little pieces here and there. But for the bulk of it be this strong, then yeah, I'll take place. I'd rewatch it.
We got a rewatch. Dale, we've got a rewatch. We are waiting.
Which is shocking for me, because I can't be pleased.
Well, I think this is your third retro review. I think you've only given outstanding praise to one other match before this. Admittedly, the first show you did was an absolute... Oh, no. You even gave one wrestling match on that show praise. I feel like you have one match on every card. You're like, yeah, this is real fucking good. And then everything else...
Everything else was on fire. Yeah, it all goes downhill from here. I'm just going to give you forewarning now. It slowly descends in stumps to fire. But this one was fucking boss. Loved it.
I've just got a list of matches now that, like, Matt loved this on Retro Review, and it's so far it's Too Cold Scorpio versus Chris Benoit, Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura,
Legit.
RVD and Sabu versus Hayabusa and Shinsei Shinzaki.
Legit.
That stream list.
You can't fight me on those. They're excellent matches.
I think we all agree with you on all of them, so, you know.
I might be hard to please, but when I am pleased, my opinion is correct.
This was the longest match on the card as well, if in case anyone was under any pretense it wasn't. Paulie got his money worth out of Hayabusa. Yeah, ratings. I gave it a 4.5. No shock. I fucking love Rob Van Dam, and I will fight people. 4.5. Nah, you've not muted yourself, so you can go next.
4.5. Like, I have nothing else to add. If you've not watched it, watch it. If you don't want to watch the whole of Heatwave, watch this match.
In WWE, rare praise for WWE and WWE Network. this match features on both the Best of ECW playlist and the Best of Rob Van Dam playlist. So you can find it. There's plenty. There's plenty of ways of finding it. Go on, Del. We're in the 4.5 brigade.
Yeah, I give it a 4. But I'll just leave it there before I get stabbed.
But don't go too far, Dill, because you've got to talk about the FTW Heavyweight title Falls Count Anywhere match between Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow. Before you get started, though, let me tell the people that this got a 7.79 from the Cage Match Faithful and 3 3/4 stars from Dave Meltzer. But what did it get from you, Dill?
You forgot to introduce Bam Bam Bigelow as former WrestleMania main eventer. You know, how dare you? How can you forget that's such a crucial accolade? But yeah, just great. Hook's dad is so good. I forget how good Hook's dad was. When he was in his prime around this period, Hook's dad was just a different level of wrestler. And honestly, for such a short bloke, like, you don't notice it because he's so strong. He's almost like a male Layla Hirsch in terms of he's a real short boy, but he's all leg power, and his ability to suplex and stretch a person's mental. And you can see where, you know, Hook gets a lot of things from, a lot of little niches in his game, and it's real nice to see. Because honestly, I think peak Taz is possibly one of the most underappreciated performers out there, because it's such a weird thing, because WWE never gave him any form of respect in any way, but he was just so good in every facet of the game. He was a complete performer, but because he wasn't 6'4", he was drastically held back by Big Vinny in his house of lanky blokes, and that's actively depressing. And the man deserved a lot better than what he was given. Yeah, neck issues and that, but he was never treated with any sort of respect, and that's really sad. But this match was fine. It was good, it was short, it was snappy, it was non-stop, it was quick, it was full of spots. Everyone fell through the stage and died, then he didn't die. It's great. Then the match ended straight after that, which is such a great shock ending after a shock, kind of almost callback. Because at the start of the show, Shane Douglas, who's on commentary, says that Bam Bam's going to put Taz through the concrete floor, and the Bam Bam and Taz to actually go through the ramp is actually a real good, you know, working of that, and it's really well done. And it's the fact that the match didn't end like it did in their previous encounter, where Bam Bam ended up pinning Taz after putting him through the ring, but they both emerged from the rubble, and Taz just choked out Bam Bam after that. It's a really good finish. I'm actually a big fan of that finish.
I will give WWE one defense and one defense only with Taz. They gave him the fucking Rolls Royce of debuts and then shat on him after. That debute's incredible. But Taz said it's one of the worst things ever happened to him, because at the moment he heard that poppy, he was done. Yeah, oh yeah. He possibly out-popped Austin that night.
It's in his home fucking state. It's in his home state. What do you expect? A man with name value getting a big pop in his hometown? How fucking dare he?
Who does he think he is, coming in from another country, getting over with our fans?
I think Austin was actually on that show.
What was it, Rumble 2000?
Yeah, Austin was injured at that time.
Yeah, I don't even know who the big babyface would have been on that show.
Rock. Who won the Rumble?
Yeah, it would have been Rock. Or Foley.
Maybe Foley. Probably Rock. Between the two.
Remember Foley's baby boy. Matt?
I did actually quite enjoy this one. I think mainly because this is the one time where I won't complain about a video package being played before a match. It wasn't done excessively throughout the whole pay-per-view. Take notes. Very much. But there was just like this wee package before the match that helped me go, oh, I understand why these two want to fucking kill each other. And the match was just absolute fucking chaos. Literally, the only notes I have written down for this is fucking chaos. Did he tap though? That's it. Because there was nothing really else to say. It was excellent. They just wanted to beat the shit out of each other. Got the distinct impression that they genuinely wanted to kill each other. The drop through the ramp was kind of cool. And the emergence of them and then a very quick finish after that was perfect. If they tried to drag the match on any longer than they did after that, it would have flopped. But they seemed to time everything exactly right. A lot of energy, there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of violence. It was just absolute fucking mental. It was absolutely batshit. Did he tap though? Did he tap? Was he? It was ace. It was really fucking cool. Like, savage drama. Gotta love it. Taz was actually legit a bit of a ledge. Shit, I now know.
One day we'll make you watch Rumble. In fact, Matt, I'm putting this down in writing right now. When we do your Retroview in 2023, Royal Rumble 2000 your pay-per-view, because you'll fucking love it. Taz debuts, Triple H versus Mick Foley in a street fight for the world title. Foley retires if he loses, plus the Royal Rumble.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'll do that all day long.
So not 2023, Royal Rumble 2000.
Penciled in already.
Did you mention the tag title match?
I can't remember.
These Dudley Boys in a table
it's
match.
the triangle. Is it the triangle, Adam?
No, it's a table match, mate.
Oh shit! Yes. It's the Jeff killing himself off the structure thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jeff that's wrestled Matt Tally.
Yeah. I didn't even need to mention Jeff to sell her on the pay-per-view, so I thought I'd leave that as a surprise, but she's got it.
My Lord and Saviour, Jeff.
My opinions on Taz versus Bam Bam Bigelow. This is very end of the road Bam Bam. This is Bam Bam couple of years from being done. So like he's ready. You can see in his eyes he's dead. He doesn't want to do this anymore. But he still goes and fucking kills Taz. And Taz is... I don't think many wrestlers have ever had this. But he has legitimate bad man energy. Like, he will fucking gut you like a fish and leave you there and not lose like a moment's sleep about it. That is the vibe Taz gives, and I love it. It leans sports entertainment, but without fully diving into sports entertainment. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't like the end. I understood what they were going for. They wanted to kind of make Bam Bam look strong by saying, "Oh, we didn't tap." Eek. I don't like those kind of didn't-y things, especially if it's coming from like what should be a feud ender like this is. That's my only nitpick, really. But I enjoyed it greatly. Yeah, still.
This wasn't actually, it was a feud continuer because it was actually for Taz to get his match with Shane Douglas.
No, I'm fully aware it was a feud continuer, but it should have been like the last time Taz and Bam Bam fought, and they fought again shortly after. And Paulie Heyman was having some times in '98. Like the weed must have been great in '98, because some of the decisions he makes make no fucking sense. You do not have a Falls Count Anywhere match, and then that doesn't end the feud. I hate that. Hate it.
It's ECW, mate. Everything's no DQ anyway.
But this is it.
Rubber match, mate. Rubber match. I think the last match was a ladder match because there was both were questionable finishes, so they made it into a ladder match.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right. No, it was a triple threat.
Oh.
And Taz didn't even get pinned.
But with Dudley Dog?
No, it was... I want to say it was Sabu.
Oh, okay.
Because it was for the FTW. And I think Sabu got pinned by Bam Bam. Don't quote me on it.
I don't think Bam Bam ever won the title. The FTW title. Don't
quote me on any of this. This is all stuff I read at 2:30 in the morning when I was bored after the pay-per-view. We'll move on to ratings. I gave it a 4. It was very good. Yeah.
I give it a very high 4.25. That's like how quick and snappy it was. It was straight to the point. It was no bullshit. It was everything Hookstad is. No bullshit. Big fan of the match.
Nah.
I gave it a 4. Taz walked in with his big dick energy, said fuck the world and ended things. They were going to blink, it was ace.
Right, let's get excited, kids. Nat has been waiting for this all day, all night, so she can talk about the main event, a 6-man tag team street fight match of the Dudley Boys, Big Dick Dudley, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Devon Dudley, against the team of Spike Dudley, the Sandman, and Tommy Dreamer. Before Dill pipes up, the Dudley Boys were accompanied by Jeff Jones, Joel Gertner, and the best Dudley boy, Sign Guy Dudley. Cage match gave us a 6.25. Admittedly, only 7 people were brave enough to give it a rating. But 6.25, so that's like a 3. Take it away, Nat.
Don't forget their blow-up doll. Because, that's...
Cage match did not
that was
credit.
Necessary.
Cage match did not credit Balula McGillislutty as an accompaniment of the Dudley Boys.
It was part of my titties tally. Oh, I'm really sorry that I'm going to shit on this from such a great height. But I can also back up a lot of my grievances with legit facts. In fact, I got a stopwatch out because this was just straight garbage. Just for reference, this match starts about the 2 hours, 2 minutes and 20-second mark in the pay-per-view. That's when the Dudleys start entering. Sandman, Dreamer and Spike don't enter until the 14-minute mark. So it's taken 12 minutes for the Dudleys just to get in the fucking ring. They're all introduced at the 18-minute mark. So we've got another 4 minutes of absolute fucking nothing. And then the bell goes at the 20-minute mark. So we've had 18 legit minutes of absolutely fucking nothing. The match ends at the 34-minute, 41-second mark. We get 14 minutes of wrestling. We've had 18 minutes of introduction. Suck my dick. Absolutely not. Hard no. Fucking outrageous. That is just fucking... And it was... like, it didn't add anything. At all. All of the Dudley shtick has aged so fucking horribly badly. It's not even borderline offensive. It's just straight offensive. There's a point where I think it's, what's the girl's name that they broke a neck? Quote unquote broke a neck.
Beulah McGillicuddy.
They said that they hit her with such force, and this is direct fucking quote, she didn't know whether to urinate, defecate, or ejaculate. A legit quote from the 18 minutes of pure fucking nothingness before this match. So it kind of set the tone and put me in a bit of a stinker of mood. And then when it actually did start, literally nothing fucking happens. Dudleys arguably just don't fucking wrestle. They just yeet Spike around like a rag doll. Spike is stupid, shit, serves no purpose other than being a rag doll. Captain Confederacy is gassed at like 8 minutes in, having done literally fuck all. The Von Cell after Sandman's ladder drop was so over the top that it irritated the shit out of me. The setup for that 4-way drop kick was just so slow to get set up, and there was that much like interference and just disorganization between them that the payoff just, you never really got it. Like the crowd cheered and I'm like, what? It took them like 3 minutes to set up a 4-way drop kick. That should have been a really snappy set piece. It should have been good. You fucked it. It just felt like they were all wanging their dicks out, wanting to look like the big men, and nobody actually had a conversation about how to coordinate what the match was going to be. It felt like the match itself and the wrestling was second fiddle to their egos, and I just got progressively more infuriated every second. Just fucking garbage. Absolute fucking. There was arguably no fucking wrestling in that match. It was just disorganised chaos. And we've had chaos matches earlier on. At least they were organised. At least it made sense. It was legible. You could follow the story. Didn't always get like totally on board with it, but it made fucking sense. This was just offensive, far too long, nothing happened. And when your introductions are 18 minutes but the wrestling's only 14, something's gone horribly fucking wrong there. That's about stroking egos rather than providing a wrestling match to the fans. This is quite possibly one of the worst wrestling matches I have ever seen. I was absolutely fucking devastated. I know that the Dudley Boys have clout. They're a name to be reckoned with, but this has done nothing to help me understand why. Awful. There were names in this match that I knew. I was really excited. I was so excited to watch this match. And I was just so let down. All ego, no wrestling. Fucking dire. Absolutely dire. Should be ashamed of themselves.
Dill, you want to follow up?
Is there any chance you can just cut and paste like Nat's whole review of it? Because I don't think I've got any more to add. It's just everything's said spot on.
Fuck for that. I thought that I was going to be like shitting on everybody's fun then.
No. I had one of them cheap. I can't believe you just said that. Laughed at Gertner in a pre-match, but other than that, other than Spy getting yeeted around, I didn't really enjoy anything. It was just a mess where there was too many like cogs working. There was too many things to try and focus on, and none of it was any good. It's just, yeah. I just don't really have anything. It's just not good. But I was so disappointed. For the moment, Shane Douglas left commentary. This show fell apart. I don't know how, but it just did. I think Shane Douglas knew what was coming. He's like, I thought I'm out. It's just not. Oh, it's so sad. Because when you look at who's in it, it's 5 really good names. Then you've got a man who's called Big Dick, which is always funny. Because I've got the mind of a child. But it's just not. For the moment, Sandman didn't have his own entrance. That's when things fall apart. Sandman should always have his own entrance. I don't care what the situation is. Sandman always should have his own entrance. Because it's the fucking Sandman. I'm pretty sure people pay the tickets just to see the Sandman's entrance. I know I would. Just to hear Enter Sandman by Metallica is worth it price of admission alone. And honestly, it's sad when they just came out to theme as generic rip-off of Man in a Box. It's sad.
Might as well just fucking join the rain on this match parade because it's got awful. Like, don't get me. There's nothing getting wrong about it. It's just got awful. Like, I think Nat's bob on the money when she said it's just too much ego. There's 5 guys who are just fucking swinging their egos around, and there's Spike Dudley who's just getting beat to shit. Spike is the only redeeming quality in this match. He fucking tries his little heart out. He bumps like a fucking crazy person, gets his spots in, he looks great. Everyone else is just... they've just all gone into business for themselves. Dream is not a great technical wrestler, but he's better than that. Sandman looks like he's out of shape, out of whack, and just doesn't want to be there. And I've never seen the Dudleys look worse. I've seen Impact Dudleys, I've seen WWE Dudleys, I've seen WWF Dudleys. This is the worst Dudleys. Comfortably. Like, you fully understand why Heyman would go, right, I'm bringing in big talent from elsewhere. They're wrestling guys like RVD and Sabu. Because they might be crazy bastards, but they'll at least do what I fucking tell them. I have no idea what the Dudleys did here. It was... It just didn't make sense. The match is incoherent. It makes no sense how the faces win. Everyone just looks like a goon. If we included post-match angles, me and Dale said this earlier, potentially it's a little higher rated. Because the New Jack save is cool. It's a cool spot. But we don't. So therefore it's still shit. This is just shit. It's not Zombie Jack shit, I will grant you. There is a level. But it's still shit. Moving on to ratings, I gave it a 2.5 because Dill guilted me into talking it up from a 2. That will come to you last because I reckon you're just going to murder this match cold and hard.
Oh yeah, it's dead.
Yeah, I give it a 2.5. Poor Spike. She tried so hard. At least New Jack coming out was cool. The whole template of the New Jack save's really cool. It's a banging theme with him just killing people, and that's always great. It's something that could so easily be carried into the modern day with a Lance Archer and him just squashing someone whilst his theme plays in the background and he hits a blackout while saying everybody dies on repeat.
Take it away, Nat.
Arguably, there was absolutely no fucking wrestling. Like, it was just dick swinging and ego grooming. There was supposedly 14 minutes of wrestling where just Spike got rinsed a new one. And with there being no legitimate wrestling, I gave it 0.5. I couldn't in good conscience rate it higher. Not when there was legitimate actual wrestling on the rest of the show. Even some of the matches on the rest of the show that I didn't enjoy, at least they were technically good wrestling. These guys just didn't turn up at all in any other capacity than to make themselves like men. They should be ashamed of themselves. That's awful.
Is that the new lowest guest rating? I'm trying to think if Johnson gave something lower from Halloween Havoc.
No.
No, Johnson loved Halloween Havoc.
I don't think there's been anything else that's been rated that low.
I mean,
I thought the raise lowest we've had to 1 from a guest. Maybe 1.5.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might have been that as well.
I mean, good. It's deserved. We're too nice.
No, we're just conditioned that Zombie Jack is the new level of shit everything's measured against.
I mean, yeah, it's true. I think Zombie Jack deserves it. Plus, never forget Cesar Bononi versus Luchasaurus. Or the match you thankfully didn't see, Alex Grazia versus Penelope Ford.
Basically, because we watch too much wrestling, our standard for shit is just like so low when something's like just a little like not good like this, not good by any measure. With like, yeah, it's like a 2.5.
Plus, at the start of this podcast, we decided it'd be a good idea to watch every Raw and SmackDown So we've seen a lot of worse matches on that.
Yeah.
I would argue that this has to be one of the worst matches of all time.
Oh,
There's no wrestling.
You'd be shocked.
There's legit no wrestling in this whole fucking thing.
I'm gonna lay 3 matches on you that we've watched as part of this podcast that are 100% worse. Zombie Jack, Always and Forever. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Oh dear.
I've still not watched that.
Yeah, don't. Save yourself. There's less wrestling in that than there is in this match.
What about Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax versus Shane Baszler?
Oh, I don't mind that one.
Oh, I hated it. It was so fucking dumb.
It was dumb. It was a dumb finish, but the match until the dumb finish was fine.
But it was so dumb. It took it down so far.
It was fine. I wouldn't say it's worse than this. I hate this more than I hate that.
No, I hated that more.
I was going to say as the third one, Sting versus Hulk Hogan from Halloween Havoc.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the one where Hulk Hogan misses his entrance. Sting comes out. They play Hogan's entrance again. He comes out, lies down in the ring, and lets Sting pin him, and then rolls out again.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I never knew that happened. That's a funny thing. So I've only heard of the Jarrett one. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
I've heard of that one.
I don't know. I only hear people talk about the Jarrett one, so I've just never heard of it at Bash in the Beach 2000. That's one I heard of.
He came out in jeans and a t-shirt, didn't he? He wasn't even in his ring.
Yeah. He's not in his ring gear at all.
Like, he clearly turned up and was like, I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? I would take that all day long rather than this 18-minute of fucking dick swinging followed by 14 minutes of nonsense. At least Hulk Hogan fucking turned up and went, I'm not turning up. I can't be fucked. Fuck everybody. And it was clean and it was done, and like, he didn't waste anybody's time. Like, these dickheads have wasted up like 32 minutes of my life I will not get back for nothing. Like, nothing happened. It was fucking pointless.
I appreciate that point of view. My counter argument would be they sold tickets based on it was Hulk Hogan versus Sting. People paid for that show thinking of getting Hulk Hogan versus Sting, and they got that.
Also, can I make a suggestion?
What?
Can we make Now What Is a Zombie Jack match and just record it? Please.
Do you like me just being like your angry little female in the corner?
I mean, I think they change your opinion slightly.
I think I'm so short. I don't have as much space to store my rage.
It just leaks out.
It leaks. I also just, I have 0 fucks left to give in life at this stage, so I'm just like, you know what, if it's shit, I'm just going to say it. Fuck it.
Yeah,
it's only my opinion. It's not, it's not the gospel. This is just my opinion, but fight me.
I mean, that's also very fair.
Logic's not allowed in wrestling.
You are?
Logic's not allowed in wrestling, though. Opinions are facts, and facts are opinions.
You've not told someone they're entitled to the wrong opinion today, Joel, so you're winning.
There's just a lot of agreement going on here, but everyone's still technically wrong.
We'll move on to rating the show as a whole. Cage match, as mentioned earlier, say this is the best ECW wrestling show of all time. And they've given it a 9.18 out of 10. That is a 4.59 out of 5. So, high praise. I'll go first. It's hard to rate it too low because I gave every match that isn't the main event a 4 or above. However, the main event sucked huge dick. Like, straight to the back of the throat. Like, it was real bad. So, I'm going to say it's a 3.75 show. Because Rob Van Dam was on it. Del.
I think I'm more inclined to give it a 3.5. I think I was closer to a 4, but I feel like I'm more towards a 3.5 now after that match. And I feel like our discussion earlier about it being maybe the second best retro view we've done, I'm thinking maybe it's third. I don't know, just talking about that main event made me hate it a bit more. And I just love Bound for Glory 2010 a lot.
That's fair. It is your stinky simp show. Nah.
I think overall, like, there was a couple of matches that I really enjoyed that were like, yeah, acceptable. And then this steaming pile of wank. So on average, I'm just gonna have to go with 2.5. I can't rate it higher because the ending is just so fucking weak. Like, it's not just weak, it's literally offensive. It should just be set on fire anyway from history.
I mean, yeah, we can't debate that at all. You are very articulate and made your points well known in a good way. So that takes us to the end of our review. If you enjoyed this retro review, we have done 2 others with that. We reviewed TakeOver Dallas in the summer last year sometime. And about a year ago, we reviewed WCW Super Brawl 2, which may be the only show Nat hated more than this one. If you want to hear more,
I'm not sure if I was so angry about it. I was less angry about that one.
Yeah, I think that one
It's
you were more
rage this time.
Yeah, I think this one you're angry. The last one you were just bored because it was just bad.
It was just pure apathy. Like, oh,
yeah, that's fair. But we also have retro reviews with other guests and some with no guests, just me and Dale. Because we wanted to watch a show that was from the past and we're like, oh, what does the retro reviews on it?
I think it's more you did. I want more hangovers.
I know you do. That's your problem.
I do. I love a good hangover. It's
Your
great.
love is on the thank you.
Hey, it'll be fine. They love me.
But yes, you can find the previous retro reviews and all our other content there on Spotify, Deezer, Acast, Apple Podcasts, and our friends at the Johners Podcast Network. Also, we're now uploading them on YouTube with fancy little graphics. You're welcome. I don't need to sleep ever. So check them out there at youtube.com/Kimbo's World Order. But until next time, I've been your host, the King of Charisma, the Mouth of the Midlands, Matt Kimbo, and I've been joined by the Twat,
the bringer of heat waves, apparently Wiley's biggest fan in 2022. Still.
and big thank you to our special guest, Nat.
thank you very much for having me.
And we will see you in a couple of weeks, maybe, for Indie Roundup. Sayonara.
Salahantel.
Another way to begin the story would be to start from the end.